Hey fiber friends, welcome to episode 7 of the Botanical Knitter vlogcast. I'm Emily, I'm a knitter, spinner, sometimes natural dyer, sometimes sewer, and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can find, I said Minnesota pretty heavy, didn't I? I even heard myself say it. You can find me on Instagram as the Botanical Knitter and on Ravelry as Botanical Knitter Character Limits. Today's episode I am dubbing the 3 F's. Flock, fall knitting, and fiber. So today's episode is really a lot about the Flock Fiber Festival that happened in early August. It'll be also about the acquisitions from that festival along with my fall knitting plans, and then I'll start to talk a little bit about a big project I'm doing. That's the third F category, fiber. But I'm going to spend more time on a later episode so I can really get into detail about the specifics of the project, why it exists, my findings, all those good things. So this is a little bit of foreshadowing. Let's just dive in. I have notes because I wanted to stay on top of it and not ramble, and also because I forgot a lot of things. It's been almost a month since Flock happened, and I already was like, wait, what did we do that day? What did we do this day? So please bear with me as I look through my notes. Somebody commented on my last episode about how I was crossing off my whips on my notebook as I was going through. It keeps me organized. I do this at work too, so it's just a little quirk of watching me on my podcast. All right, coffee, sip of coffee. Like I need any more caffeine. All right, let's get started. So Flock Fiber Festival. This was a first-time festival in Seattle. It was planned by the incredible crew at La Mercery Yarn Shop, which is on Bainbridge Island. Just gonna start there. My biggest regret, I didn't get to go to Bainbridge. I didn't get to see La Mercery or Lamb and the Kid in person. Next time though, next time. So this was a pretty quick trip. So I went with my friend Courtney of Silly Goose Yarns and then our friend Amanda, who's Knits by Amanda on Instagram. Courtney was a vendor, and so we were lucky enough, Amanda and I, that we got to tag along to help Courtney out with her booth. We were dubbed booth babes. I also kind of like booth bitches. Sorry, there's a swear. I try to avoid swearing, but if you know me in person, you know I'm not good at avoiding the swears. So the fact that I've made it this long is great. Okay, all things aside. So we flew in on Thursday night, and it was just all things. Get there, get our bags, wait for the luggage, get the rental car, drive to the Airbnb. And that took about 45 minutes to drive from the airport to the Airbnb because we were on the northwest part of Seattle, no, northeast part of Seattle. And so we drove in at night. We didn't see a ton of Seattle, but it was really just setting the stage for the weekend. Friday was all about setup, unpacking, getting Courtney's booth set up, picking up some grid walls for displays, bookcases, having lunch, and then Friday was the first open day, and it was only for a couple hours on Friday late afternoon, and it was masked. So this was for attendees that preferred to be masked, felt more comfortable being masked, which was really great. I thought that was a wonderful option. So we, Friday morning, wake up, found this cute coffee shop by us. We stopped there nearly every day. I got the same order, an oat milk latte with 2 pumps of pumpkin spice because you know what? I was ahead of that. I'm year-round basic, year-round pumpkin. So I did that, and they had yummy pastries. So every day was a different pastry. I can't remember which ones I had, but they were fabulous. We went to Home Depot, picked up the grid wall, the bookcases, and then we went to the hangar at Magnuson Park. It was an old airplane hangar. Both ends of it could open so you could get a breeze. Very industrial, but very cool. I thought La Mercery did a really good job finding a vendor to hang up all of the pipe and drape and the tables. Everything was all white, so it looked really nice and airy and bright in this huge space that also had really nice lighting. So that was a really cool space. So we got there, we unloaded, we set up, we played around with colors on how to hang the grid wall, we hung fairy lights, we had neon signs, we had a really good time. And what I liked about the 3 of us working together is we each knew what the other's strengths and weaknesses were. So I knew I was not going to be the person to set up the bookcase and follow those step-by-step instructions. And Amanda was like, I got it. That's me. That's what I want to do. Whereas I like the grid wall. I like to visualize and look at the colors. I like to organize by base and color and type. So that was my strength. And Courtney was queen supervisor, and she had a vision. So we were just in charge of implementing her vision. After setup, we went to lunch. We found this really cute cafe. I had the world's biggest salad. I love vegetables. I got a crab cake salad. It was roasted corn, so many vegetables. And then I got a beer from Crux on tap. It was just a lovely Pilsner. I love a good Pilsner. I also hate a bad Pilsner because they can be really terrible. So we just had lunch, sat down, and then went back to the market to get ready for opening day. When we got there, there wasn't a line yet, but slowly, the line built and built and built and wrapped around, and it was wild to see all of these people waiting to get in. And there was just this excitement that you could feel. So I think it was 4 o'clock maybe, they opened it up and there was a cheer and people ran in and they went straight to Explore Knits. It was wild. The second the market opened, I went to Explore Knits to grab some yarn that I wanted before it sold out. And I got to see people just come running down, and I was really excited for Allie and her team because, like, that's such a vibe, right? To know, like, this is who I'm here for. I'm so excited to meet them in person. I'll just say that whole crew was really lovely as well. So after buying that and then buying a couple of stitch markers from Denim.And.Rain for a friend of mine that I was shopping for, I went back to Courtney's booth, and from there on it was a constant stream of people coming in the booth. It was so busy in those couple of hours on Friday. We were all masked. It was hot. I could just feel the sweat dripping and was like so ready for like fresh air on my face. So taking the mask off Friday night felt so good. I don't mind masking, was happy to do it, but we all know in the summer it makes it a little warm, but that was totally fine. So Friday night after that market madness, and I will say the other thing about masking, it was hard to tell who people were. So if I saw you on Friday and I didn't recognize you, I'm very sorry. That's just kind of the world we lived in that instance, right? Okay, so after the market on Friday, we went to dinner at Magnuson Park, which is a brewery, or Magnuson Cafe at Magnuson Park, which is a brewery. Fine beers, fine food, but the company and the wait staff really made the day shine. We were there for hours. They let us stick around after closing time. Our waiter did a wonderful job dealing with the 30 plus of us. I was very overwhelmed at dinner because we were with knitting queens, like knitting and yarn dyeing queens. Allie at Explore Knits, Kate at Red Door, Kate at Mezzo Makes, Lauren of Yarn Addict Co., Rachel of ZZ Textiles, who else was there? Casey was there, Casey Hurley from Casey Knits. Couple new to me dyers that I hadn't met before or really known before. Sunday Fiber Co., Witchfire. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. I'll drop in everything. But it was wild to be around all of these people. And then I met a bunch of new friends too. We were a loud bunch. It was a bunch of type A ladies, and we were loud. And we laughed. And we drank beers, and we knew they were closing down soon and it was taking so long to get our orders in, so we each ordered 2 drinks at once, and that kind of set the stage for that after that evening. But it was so much fun. We just gabbed, we talked knitting, we were inspired by each other. I had never met 80% of these people. I've interacted with some of them on Instagram, and my heart was just so full. And it was a reminder of, like, you can never meet people, but internet friends are real friends. Like, you all are my real friends because we connect in person. It was bonkers, but we had so much fun. I was a little hungover on Saturday. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's because I only had half of Weissens, because that was the beer I ended up liking the most. So all of that wheat in my belly just didn't feel great. But had a good time. All right, so that takes us to Saturday, which was the first full open day of the Fiber Festival. There was no masking required, though some folks still did mask. It was so fun. It was basically a continuous busy pace, which felt really nice too. And I was exhausted by the end of Saturday. So I did a little bit more shopping. Courtney, Amanda, and I would rotate who was staffing the booth so we could walk around, admire all of the booths, talk to our nearby booth friends. And it was just a really great day. I loved seeing everybody's knit fits or their outfits. I know I took away a couple of knitspiration ideas of patterns I want to make, but styles, like, oh, I have that knit top. I've never thought to style it that way. Like everybody that was walking by was like, outfit, on point. It was really fun. I think that's one of my favorite parts of a fiber festival beyond just the buying of the things, is seeing everybody in your different styles and our different takes on patterns, and also seeing how patterns look on all different body types. So that was the best. But by the end of it, we were so tired. So at the end of the market on Saturday, we went to a brewery, Ravenna, I don't know how to say it. There was a Mexican food truck. We had tacos and a couple of beers, and we knit, but we were exhausted. We went straight home, sat around a table at the Airbnb, showed each other our acquisitions, and went to bed pretty soon after. I was definitely in bed by 10 o'clock that night. Saturday, I got to meet a couple of people. Gary Knits, I had never met Gary. I think it's Gary Knits and Rides, and I'll tag Gary's Instagram, and he has a podcast as well. What a good human. Just like excellent energy, so kind, so wonderful. I've really enjoyed meeting Gary. And then I got to meet Porter Woolco in person and inspect her gorgeous yarn, and I helped her set up a couple of things. Their booth, her and her husband's booth, was immediately behind ours, and so we were like peeking around and being silly. So that was really fun. But again, Saturday was just hectic. I was still a little hungover from Friday, so that meant I was really tired. The other fun thing about Saturday was I got to see Nicole from Professor Pearl. I'll tag her YouTube channel below as well. Her pattern, the wool gathering shawl, was released on Saturday, and so we got to show each other our finished objects. It was her design pattern, so it was the first time I've ever been able to show my finished object to a pattern designer in person, and that was really fun. Yeah, that was Saturday. Good times. Sunday was the second and last full Fiber Festival market day. Definitely a slower pace, but still fun. I got to meet Jasmine from Crafty Jasmine on Instagram. I got to meet Alyssa. Alyssa's handle is Wiblets.knits. I think, am I saying that right, Alyssa? And I got to meet Katie at Knitting and Oils, and that was so fun. That made my heart so full. Jasmine brought some yarn that I had naturally dyed that I sold to her when I was just trying to de-stash it, that she used for a test knit. And it is so fun to see your yarn knit up. I wasn't expecting that. I never, I'm not in it to sell it. I do it because it's fun and I love flowers and gardening. But there's something about seeing your yarn knit up by somebody else and how they picked colors and combos. Just, that was really fun. So I'll drop in a picture of meeting Jasmine and then meeting Alyssa. But that was great. And then I met a lot of you, and it's hard to capture everyone because I think thousands of people probably went through. Is that an exaggeration? I don't know. Hundreds for sure. But it was great. Sunday, we went and got seafood after we tore down and packed up and got things ready to ship all the yarn back home. And on Sunday, we went to Duke's. I got a salmon salad. I love vegetables again. And then I had some chowder, because when in Rome, you drink the chowder. And that was near a park. So afterwards, we walked to a park. It was very beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Minneapolis. I kept saying, if Minneapolis had mountains, I would never leave. And it's true. I just wish we had mountains, and then it would be the perfect place to live, and I would always stay here. Then we went to a grocery store and got some desserts and some rosé, and we went back to the Airbnb to do a full de-stash and sharing everything that we had purchased that weekend. Had some rosé, had some chocolate cake, packed, and went to bed early. Monday was our fly home day. It was our very touristy day. We went to the market. We went to Pike's Place, right? The public market. That was cool. We went to breakfast at a place that's attached to a boutique hotel, the Palo Hotel. The breakfast spot was the Heart and the Hunter. It was so good and it was so cute. I got up to go to the bathroom, and to get to the bathroom you had to cut through the hotel lobby, and I found it was like Alice in Wonderland. Oh, it's like so my style, like black and white tiled floors, green matte paint, natural wood tones, whites, brasses, books, leather. This room was gorgeous. I tried FaceTiming my mom, and then I FaceTimed my cousin because I was like, you guys, this is serious inspo. So I took a billion pictures, and I ended up doing a house project last weekend that was inspired by this hotel. So I'll insert some footage there. I redid our stairway coming from the back of the house to upstairs. In Minnesota, or at least in Minneapolis, in our old houses, we don't have connected garages. So it's how we get to our garage. So footage there, but it was lovely. I went up, I don't think I embarrassed Courtney and Amanda, but I was like, I'm gonna ask what the paint colors are, and they're like, they're not gonna know. So I went up and I asked, and I think the manager of the hotel was there, and we talked all about paint and styling, and he gave me pictures. He let me take pictures of the paint swatches, so I have one of the exact paint colors in my stairway. So that was fun. That was kind of my other interest of interior design aligning with that. Then afterwards, I said goodbye to Courtney and Amanda because I had to fly to Indianapolis for a work trip. So my flight was out at 1 p.m. So after breakfast and some touristy stuff, I went straight to the airport. Y'all, that airport is a shit show. It took forever for my lift to get to the departures. There was traffic getting in, and then security took forever. I was, what is your problem? I mean, I'm sure it was very difficult. I don't understand airports, but that was one of the longest security lines I have ever sat in, and I've never had such traffic getting up to an airport before. All right, that was all of the gabbing of flock. I will make sure that if you are not interested in the flocky stuff and you've arrived here at the acquisitions in the fall knitting, welcome, hello. I had a lot of good chit chat. I know not everybody loves the chit chat. So let's talk acquisitions. I bought so much yarn. So can we pinky promise right now? You are not going to judge me for all of the yarn that I bought. I alluded in the last episode that I had purchased a lot of yarn, and let me tell you, I purchased a lot of yarn. All right, first up is yarn from, I'll do yarn Nouveau. Look at this. So this yarn dyer is from Utah. This is a new to me dyer. It is covered in fiber and dog hair. This is their yak sock base. It's merino, yak, and nylon, 437 yards. The colorway is called Mulling It Over. It is a beautiful wine color. It is silky. It is moody. My eyes immediately went to it. I only got 2 skeins of this because by the time I bought it, I had done a ton of damage, and I was like, slow your roll, sis. But I decided that I'm going to knit a Brooklyn Lite out of this by Tori Knits NYC. I have knit the Brooklyn Raglan, the DK weight sweater, twice, and so I thought I would knit the new fingering weight one, and I'm going to do it as a short sleeve. So it'll have a little textured sleeve, really nice scallop hem shaping. And what I like about this one is that this meets my goal of having some knits that I can wear to the Capitol. So a little less bright colors, a little bit more professional looking. And I figured the Brooklyn Lite would be great on its own with a pair of dress pants or tucked into a skirt, or because it's short sleeve, I could wear a blazer over it. I'm really eager to be able to testify and like have my knits on underneath because like hello power. So that is what this is going to be. Isn't it really pretty? So check out Yarn Nouveau. Her husband came with her. Their booth was gorgeous. I hope I took footage of it. Beautiful. The aesthetic was lovely. Moody colors and really just nice people. So highly recommend them. All right, ready? We're gonna stay organized. My next acquisition and fall knitting plan is from Porter Wool Co. That was the booth that was immediately behind Silly Goose Yarns. And what I loved about this dyer is their variety, like bright colors, moody colors, autumnal, and lots of different bases. I ended up going straight to these three, and you're gonna see a theme in my colors. I'm very much ready for fall and neutrals. So this is called Paprika Me Crazy. It is a 4-ply merino nylon base, fingering base, 463 yards. It has this really lovely paprika orange speckles throughout. And then I picked this as my contrast color. And this is called Sly Fox, same base. And these together are going to be a new fall Frolic by Samantha Guerin. I think this color combo is going to be so pretty. I plan to cast this on probably in October. I knit this right after Rhinebeck last year in probably 3 weeks, so I know it'll go quick. I have knit this before. I used a cashmere fingering base and it pilled within like 30 seconds of me having it on, so I never wear it because it's beautiful. The color combo is so good. It's so jewel toned, but it looks awful because of all the pilling, even after I have tried to shave it off, because now I feel like it's thinning out under my arms. So that pattern needed a redo because I loved it. I love the fit on my body, and I love Sam. So this will be a fall Frolic. And kudos to Porter Wool Co. Super kind, super lovely, and good color sense. I'm just throwing it all on the shea of my couch. All right, from there, let's move on to Explorer Knits. I told myself I wasn't going to do the hype thing. Like, just because a dyer was there that has a huge hype doesn't mean I had to buy from them. But Allie is so freaking nice. She is so down to earth. She is one of the people, so authentic, so real, and I had to buy from her. When she posted prior to Flock starting that she was going to have this colorway, I knew I wanted to see it in person. Because sometimes I think her pictures do look a little bit different than the yarn once it arrives, which happens to anybody. There's that disclaimer, that is no shade, it's just a fact. So I ended up seeing it and being like, oh, hell yes. So I bought 3 skeins of this yarn. It's the Denali sock base, 400 yards. Actually, I think I bought 4 of them, never mind. 400 yards, 80/20 merino nylon, Gnome Cottage. So moody, so fallish. All my favorite colors rolled into one, but different than what I have. So that was kind of my impulse on Friday. I was like, what the hell am I going to do with this? So then I went back on Saturday and bought Suri to go with it. So the Suri is definitely softer, a little moodier, but just as gorgeous. So I bought enough Suri, and I am going to make the classic by Espace Tricot. Did I say that right? Tricot? Espace Tricot. Didn't take French, took 8 years of German. And Allie helped me pick out the Suri to go with it because I wasn't sure that I wanted to do the same colorway. I'm okay mixing colorways, but we decided that this was going to be the best bet. So it's very rusty, earthy, fall toned. And it's going to be a wonderful turtleneck, big sweater with a split hem. I'm really excited to knit it. I think Twin Aura Knits both did a classic and raved about it, so it's kind of been on my radar since then. Plus it's a free pattern, which offset the amount of money I spent on this gorgeous yarn, rightfully so. It's beautiful. So love this one, excited to knit that. This will be a late fall, early winter, because it's very much a winter sweater. And I knit sweaters pretty quickly, so I'll still be able to wear it with plenty of time for the deep part of winter. Okay, here's all my Suri. Next up is the Lamb and Kid. This is a yarn shop on Bainbridge Island in Seattle. I wanted to see what Big Birdie was like. I've heard the hype. I wanted to see it IRL, and I was into it. So I went and bought 4 skeins of the big Birdie base, which is Suri. So it's 79% alpaca, 21% silk, but it is Aran weight. It is huge. And it's this really lovely charcoal, navy, black. I don't know. I'm so bad with describing colors. And it's Dimond.And.Rain, which is at, I think the owner of the Lamb & Kid dyes it. I don't know. But 174 yards. It's so cozy. So cozy. So when I was at the La Mercerie booth, they had a bunch of samples, and one of the samples caught my eye. It is the Slouchy Pullover by Churchmouse yarns. It is a V-neck, long sleeve, long tunic length with an open gauge. So like very big needles, chunky knit. And I was like, that looks so nice with a pair of leggings, and that's my weekend time on the couch knitting coziness, right? Like it's breezy because it's got that open gauge, but it'll be warm because of this big ass Suri. So I'm really excited to knit this one. This one has interesting construction, top up, flat seamed, I think, but all the project notes say it knits up so quick. So this one might get cast on sooner rather than later, just because I am so excited to knit with this yarn. So then I went back to the Lamb & Kid on one of the other days, and I knew I wanted to make a Cumulus blouse by PetiteKnit. And again, I wanted yarn or garments that was a little bit more neutral, a little bit more luxe looking for work, that I could wear with dress pants or a skirt. And I thought the Cumulus blouse would be a really nice fit. Plus a lot of you are knitting it right now, and so copying you all. So I ended up getting Birdie. So this is Birdie, the light fingering Suri, 74% alpaca, 26% silk, 328 yards to knit a Cumulus blouse. Now this color is hard to describe. It is a cream gray, but it has green in it. It's not quite as sagey as all of the sage yarn I purchased recently, but I do see a green gray in it. And I think this will be so pretty in the Cumulus blouse. The woman who helped me pick out this yarn was wearing a Cumulus with this yarn, and she said she did not hold it double. She held it single, and I loved the fabric and how the fabric looked. So I only had to get 4 skeins instead of the 8 I thought I was going to have to purchase. So I'm excited about this. And I don't remember what this colorway is called. Vintage. So very pretty. Okay, that is all of the yarn that I purchased. That's all. I think I was at around like 20 some skeins of yarn. And you know what? No regrets. It was right before my birthday, which is a dangerous combination because everything became a birthday gift to me. And I knew my parents were going to send me money for my birthday. So that was spent like probably 5 times. But I was like, this is a treat. I'm not going to Rhinebeck. This is going to be so fun. Oh, one more thing that I forgot. Explore Knits, the linen. I bought 1 skein of linen on their DK base, which I showed in the last episode, because that is going to be used as the contrast color in my Milkweed sweater, which is immediately being cast on, and that will be on my needles soon for you all to see. Okay. From there, I did buy a lot of notions and accessories because there were so many good things. One of my favorite booths and favorite new to me makers is Fiber and Flame. It's a husband and wife combo. The husband is a glass blower, and then the wife has sheep and spins and has fiber and knits, and her hand spun was so perfect. I went in a little strong and I was like, this is your hand spun, you brat. And I was like joking, but I was like, she doesn't know me. She probably thought I was being serious. And so I went back later to be like, I'm sorry, I came off strong. She's like, no, I loved it. And I was like, that was very generous of you. So I ended up buying about 2.5 ounces, so 5 ounces total of her fin. I haven't spun fin before, so here's the fin on my bobbin. And here it is in the roving. I got 2 colors, this natural gray and this gorgeous natural black. And I'm gonna apply them together for a really pretty fun barber pole. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I really have enjoyed spinning this fin. Also from their booth, I got little glass stitch markers. They're just the circle, but it was hand-blown glass by her husband. He also had glass cable needles, stitch markers of all different sizes. You could pick and make your own. I will insert a picture of it because I already have it on a whip that is upstairs. He also made these incredible wine glasses that I am not going to forget about because I want to buy them. They were just cool. I hadn't seen that before, and I love how that couple came together to have their booth. So I bought the fin, I got the glass stitch markers. Some of you might have heard me say to myself over and over again, I'm not going to buy a project bag. I will not buy a project bag. I will not buy a project bag. I bought a project bag because how could I not? Chelsea from True Laine Knits, she has a podcast, I'll link to it, bought the same bag. The canvas, the cotton is so soft. The waxed canvas bottom is so sturdy. It has this really lovely arm strap that's perfect for standing and knitting, and it has drawstring. And then inside, there's pockets, and look at this fabric. I loved the colors. I loved this granny square style fabric. And also the maker was so nice, the crafty little fox. She has a corgi, so we bonded over that. And I am obsessed with these bags. I plan to for sure buy any sort of fall or spooky seasonal one that she does because it's so well made. Yeah, love that. Oh wait, no, shouldn't throw that away. Okay, because in the bag, I put on a swatch some of the stitch markers that I purchased, or progress keepers. So the first stop I went to was Denim.And.Rain, and I got this really fun mushroom stitch marker. I hope this is showing up. Green, it's glass and resin, it's got gold leaf in it, very pretty. And then I did go to the Hello Lavender booth, and I got this set because they're flowers and they're funny. Each of them has a different face, and I've used them. And then I did get one of her flock sets. It has flowers, hello flowers, and then the flock logo, which is the sheep. So very pretty, really fun. And then I also did buy a flock sweater, the crew neck sweatshirt. In the winter, leggings and a crew neck sweatshirt is kind of my capsule wardrobe. And I'm slowly only having a bunch of either brewery, plant themed, or yarn themed sweatshirts. So pretty on brand. Okay, so that's it for flock. That's it for flock acquisitions. My last bit here is an update on kind of what's next for a big fall project for me. I was selected to be a maker for the Three Rivers Fiber Shed Sheep to Shawl project. Very excited. That comes with a stipend. So I purchased like 4 pounds of BFL raw wool, and I've washed it and I've been processing it. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been doing and posting a little bit about it. And then I need to spin it and knit it into a shawl, and it will be on display in October. So I need to get going. So I've processed about 10 ounces of it. I made these big, beautiful bats, and then I've started to spin it too, and I'll naturally dye some of it. That is due by mid-October, so I really need to get going. I'm going to do a whole episode about the process, about washing wool, about drying wool, about combing and carding and using the drum carder and spinning. So you're going to be with me every step of the way, and I'm really going to talk through like the intentions of it, and why getting connected to local fiber, non-superwash fiber, making our own wool and garments is such a not only sustainable but like heart-filling process for me at least. So that's just, again, a little foreshadowing, a little bit of a cliffhanger, but it feels good to like just talk to you all about flock and my acquisitions and my fall knitting. I'm very excited for the knits I have in front of me. I'm just keep staring at the yarn because it is, I'll put in a picture so you can see what the pile looks like. but I'm excited. I want to cast on everything right now. I don't know if it's the changing of the seasons that makes me want to just do everything, or the excitement for the fiber I'm working with, the knits I've picked out, but I know a couple of my friends are feeling the same way. We want to knit everything. All right, so that's episode 7. Thanks for hanging with me as I chit chat about flock and fall knitting. I hope wherever you are well, and I will see you next time. Look at all of these people. Saturday, this is the first full day of Flock Fiber Festival here in Seattle. We're in a really cool hangar, and look at all of these beautiful booths. Sorry, I'm probably going too fast. What a day. How cute is this bougie ass hotel in Seattle by Pike's Place? I mean, if I was a room, I would hope I would look like this. There's no guarantees. I'm at the gum wall, and it smells like bubble yum, and it's gross. Look at this, look at this, look at this. All bubble gum.